In this video we gonna underline the art of attacking in fc24. Importantly, understand that each and every mechanics or concepts outlined contributes to each other, so without wasting much time let's jump into it. Are you tired of matching up against overpowered squads? Visit u7buy.com for cheap and safe FC coins on the market. Remember to use the discount code DRFC for 6% off. Check the link in the description. To attack effectively you have to master different ways to keep possession, and the first one is how you control the ball. Controlling is the basic simple skill, but it has a big impact as whether you keep the ball or lose it. You should keep the ball away from the opponent's defender. To receive the ball and maintain possession, you have to put your player in between the ball and the opponent's defender. As simple as that. You have to take a touch away from the angle where the defender can tackle it away. Another one is observing your passing lanes. You should avoid passing into a blocked passing lane, so you need to keep your eyes on the opponent's defender, the selected defender and the AI defender, because these AI defenders also tend to close those passing lanes automatically. And also make sure that pass is open, not safe, but open passing lane. Here you will not give away possession cheaply. Another way to keep possession is to dribble safely. As you dribble safe, make sure you dribble away from the opponent's defender, making the tackling angle difficult for that defender. Always dribble away. Put your defender in between the ball and that defender as the basic way to do it. When building up, try to keep your player away from that defender. Force your opponent to overcommit and drag this defender out of position. Another way is to drive into the space. Always try to exploit that space open to cause more pressure to the opponent such that he commits with more defenders and drag them out of positions. You drive into the space by either sprinting, which is the most common way to do it, or you can do it by just simple slow dribblings, or receiving the ball into the space. The next way and the most effective is to call your players short. Calling for more options will make that passing option available and escape pressure. To call that player short, you aim your left analog towards that player you want to call, then you click the R1 or RB button on your controller. As simple as that. And lastly is to use the lobbed pass. We can use the lobbed pass in two ways to keep possession and escape pressure. 1. To beat the opponent's press. You know that weird moment when the opponent's defenders surround your player with the ball. Here ground passes are more risky, so as the creative player, use the lobbed pass and escape that situation to keep everything safe. So when you face these situations, you need to quickly look for your distant free players and lob the ball towards that player's position and maintain possession. Another way to use that pass is to switch sides while building up or attacking, and it's almost the same thing. In fc24 AI pressing is something overpowered, so you need to constantly be changing sides, especially when you face good opponents. If you realize the side you're on is overloaded with more defenders, try to switch sides and escape that side. Not only escaping side, but also stretching the opponent's players and open up spaces. So all the mechanics or strategies we have looked at contributes to the way we attack, as we gonna see with more mechanics ahead. When attacking, our main focus or target is to reach the opponent's box and score. Either we reach the opponent's box slow or fast, it doesn't matter. So in order to reach the opponent's box you need to take an action that leads you forward. You need to move forward. Let's see this logic to understand what it means to gain ground. So to get forward you need to consider two factors. Is there resistance from the opponent or no resistance? Beginning on when there is no resistance. If you realize in front of your player is free, there's no opponent's defender to apply pressure, which is the resistance, then you're free to move forward and drive into that space, so here you are gaining ground from that action. If you see that open space in front, no resistance. You can sprint as long as you want, or up to the point when the opponent makes a resistance. Getting forward doesn't mean that you only just sprint forward into that space, no. Also if you see that open pass in front, no resistance, meaning no opponent's player blocking it, then take that pass. Here you're getting forward, still meaning that you're gaining ground. This implies to every pass you take or dribble. If you face no resistance from the opponent, then gain ground, take that pass or dribble and move forward to attack. What about when you face resistance? This is so simple to understand. The opponent is blocking your way forward, still you have to read the pitch and understand your options. I know some player here tend to try and beat that resistance, but the basic and safe way is to either pass backwards and open more options, or you can pass sideways, or even dribble and change direction to beat that press. To understand this, take a look at these examples. am controlling my fullback in this position, the opponent moves his defender in front and makes a resistance, so I pass backwards to my center back. I control the ball and see this pass in front is open, so I take it to gain ground. I control the ball safe towards my options, this pass is open, and so I take it, am moving forward freely without much resistance. I control the ball forward to see whether I face any resistance, this pass is open and as usual I have to take it. In this attack I managed to build up freely playing basic, simple football just using this logic and ending up scoring. The second example, I pass to my winger and turn forward. I face resistance and so I change direction and pass forward to my free player. As I control the ball, the opponent puts some resistance and I decide to dribble safe and change direction. I see this open pass forward to my striker, no resistance, and so I take that pass. The ball receiver is tightly marked, so I take the safe first touch away from the opponent's defender. I see my winger running in behind, no resistance, and so I get this ball forward. I take that pass and gain ground. You can play simple basic football and break the opponent's defense just by passing and dribbling if you master this logic. So after understanding when to get forward and not, here are strategies you can use to get forward as fast as you can, and number 1 is sending your off-ball players forward. When getting forward you have to move with your options while opening up some spaces. To send your player forward you either use the pass and move trick, press both X or A, plus L1 or LB, it's a give and go technique which effective in tight spaces and on the wing. 2 is the L1 trigger, aim the left analog towards that player you want to send forward, then you click L1 or LB, and this is the advanced one. Sending players forward opens up the effective way you can gain ground. So after sending that player forward, you need some effective passes to get the ball to that player, and first is the ground through pass. Here you press Y or triangle on your controller, aim the left analog towards the space in front of your player, or even towards that player according to the situation. The through pass moves into the space which makes it more easier to gain ground very quick. The simple trick to improve your through pass technique is to position your player diagonally. Here it's not obvious direct through pass, so the opponent sometimes will not even bother tracking that runner because he sees you're not facing that player. And it also gives that perfect angle for your player to release the ball effectively and find your player. Now here is the effective way and method pass on fc24, lob through pass. You hold L1 plus triangle, or LB plus Y, so if the ground through pass is not open, then that is a resistance, but using the lob through pass and lob the ball towards that running player will beat that resistance and you gain ground. You can use this pass to find your winger. After sending that winger forward and create a way to gain ground, use this pass and find your player and attack the opponent. Now you're seeing how everything is connecting from the basics and how you can use them to gain ground. 2. To your strikers, you can also send your strikers forward and create multiple ways to move forward. It's not only about the wingers. Don't underestimate the power of sending your players forward if you want to attack effectively. So try and be more creative and have a purpose in your attack rather than just waiting to react. We shall later see the overpowered way to use the lob through pass and break the opponent. The next way to get forward quickly is to use the driven pass, the R1 plus X, or RB plus A. This pass moves fast towards your player, so it covers more ground in less time than the normal short pass. Talking about the ball moving fast, it gives no time for the opponent to block the passing lane if you use it in time. So if you need to move forward quickly, then this pass has to be in your arsenal. So that's it for gaining ground. Now we need to attack in a creative way. If you want to gain ground and face less resistance, then you need to keep your opponent guessing every time, and that's playing unpredictable. Faking directions while dribbling is the first basic strategy you need to learn. You have to sometimes fake directions, especially against proactive opponents, meaning opponents who tend to anticipate your moves. It looks simple, but it's more powerful than what you think. Another way is to change your passing rhythm. It's not all about pass and receive. Implement some one-touch style of passing. If you always pass and receive, the opponent will get used to that and get comfortable. So try to give him some hard time and play one-touch pass. It looks simple, but on the side of opponent he's not expecting that. This will mentally ruin his defending. The number one way to play unpredictable and creative is to pass in a triangle passing pattern. I guess I have talked enough about this strategy as many times so far, so here I won't say something new. Starting visioning these triangles, especially if you want to master that resistance concept very well. Of course, if we talk about speed, the stepovers is always under this conversation. It has been overpowered, still overpowered, and I know it will still be overpowered, so implement it into your gameplay. Now let's finalize with the planned or creative way to break the defense and even score in FC24. Why it's planned or creative? Some moves we plan them in our head and be steps ahead of the opponent, or sometimes the opportunity arise and use a certain way to break and score. Number 1 is trivela and finesse shots. Wanna score some long-range goals? Sometimes when you try to break the opponent normally and you realize he has left a big space in front of your player. This is so important to know. You need players with finesse playstyle or playstyle plus, or trivela playstyle and plus to increase the chances of scoring. But if you can't afford those players, still you can try, but don't expect consistent results. So both shot types, you basically position your player diagonally towards the goal. For finesse shot, press both R1 and circle or B plus B, load up to 3 or in half bars of power, aiming the left analog towards that far post, and your player will score this dangerous goal. Then for trivela shot, you press both the L2 plus circle or LT plus B, and the process should be the same, and be ready to score some crackers. And not only that, but you can also use these shots in normal situations and score tons of goals. For example, here, I pass the ball to my striker but am facing resistance to move forward, so I decide to pass the ball back, but using the pass and move technique to send this striker forward. So now this pass is available, but I need to wait for this striker to at least reach at the last man on the defense line. I pass backwards and make a first-time pass to this player again. Now this pass is open and there's no resistance. There's no resistance because of this one-touch pass I made. It somehow ruined the opponent's player switching and he couldn't switch in time, and it also drove his attention away from this running player. So I take this lob through pass and the opponent couldn't do anything to stop my striker. I ended up scoring this goal, the using trivela shot, though I got lucky with it because the opponent moved his goalkeeper well. Another example, as I move forward with my winger, am facing no resistance from the opponent because he's too passive tracking my players. I go ahead and reach at the edge of the box, still no resistance. Then I realize I have space in front with my player with finesse playstyle plus. I position diagonally and face the goal, take the finesse shot, and the goalkeeper couldn't do anything to stop it. Last example, here I dribble safe and pass backwards because I'm facing resistance. But here I'm still facing resistance and it's difficult to go forward, so I change direction. The simple move opens up this forward pass to my winger. There's some resistance incoming. The opponent is moving this player to close that pass lane, so I need to gain ground quickly before the resistance, and I decide to use the driven ground pass, get the ball as quickly as possible to my winger. Then I control the ball safely and face the opponent's goal, realizing I have space in front. My player is positioned diagonally, so I strike the ball using the finesse shot and score this beautiful goal. If you have watched this far now, I think you're seeing how things connect. Another effective way to score in FC24 is using counter-attacks, and now here that's when the lob through pass comes in. We shall not talk much about counter-attack strategies and tricks. Let's focus on using the basics we have looked at, plus the lob through pass. As you see here, I'm loading full bars of power. My player hits the ball more accurately with a suitable direction towards the receiver and control the ball into the space and complete a super counter-attack without using many tricks and score. So when I win the ball, I send my player forward using either like the pass and move or L1 trigger, and I make sure I move away from the resistance and get a clear angle to pull out the pass, and even drive the opponent's attention away from that running player. When I get the angle, I don't hesitate. I just use the lob through pass, get the ball in front of my player. The easiest way to counterattack and give no time to the opponent's defenders to reposition and coordinate to defend this attack. To get the best out of this move, you can send either your wingers forward or your fullbacks plus strikers. And to make it more effective, try to pass the ball first to another player before pulling out the pass. This gives time to that running player to gain some ground forward. So take a look at this example. Here I perform a pass and move and send my fullback forward. So here I use the lobbed pass to get the ball to my winger. I used the lobbed pass because my player is surrounded with multiple opponent's defenders. I control the ball into the space and I have no resistance in front, so I gain some ground as I wait for this fullback to complete his run. The opponent is over-committing to press this player, and my running player has not covered enough ground to receive this pass effectively, and I can't continue sprinting forward because the opponent can time my heavy touch and select this defender, and also I can't dribble slow because this player will catch up my player, so I perform the ball roll and pass to my midfielder. As always, I control the ball into the space away from the opponent's defender, no resistance, and so pull out this overpowered pass towards my fullback as he has now covered enough ground and he's not offside. I break the opponent's defense with one pass and his players are not positioned well to defend, so I score this goal. Another example, I send my winger forward using the L1 trigger. As he moves forward, the opponent moves to this direction to cause some resistance, so I pass to my open free player in the middle. At this moment my winger has still not covered enough ground. I see this opportunity of gaining ground and I take it, control the ball into the space and look at my winger. He's now in a position where I need him. I pull out the pass, get in behind the opponent's defense, and he couldn't do anything to stop me from scoring this goal. Last example, here I send my fullback forward using pass and go. My winger is facing some resistance, but since I'm visioning this triangle pattern, I react quick and pass sideways. I take one touch pass just to change my passing rhythm and increase some speed. I control the ball into the space facing some resistance, and so I decide to pass it back to my midfielder. I control the ball openly towards the direction I want to pass the ball to. Here I have no resistance. I can drive into space, or pass to these two players and gain ground, but the best option to gain ground quickly is to take this lob through pass. I take it and the opponent mistimed his offside trap. That's none of my business. I move forward to use this advantage, take this driven pass to my striker and score this goal. Those 4 ways we can score, the remaining I'm just gonna pass quickly through them because we have already looked at them. Number 3 is crossing. Crossing the ball in this game is also another effective way to score goals. Then lastly is cutbacks, building through the wing and go towards the byline and find your open striker and score. I have linked the videos explaining these 2 in the description, so check if interested. All the strategies and tricks we have used, combine them together and attack like a beast. Here it's difficult for the opponent to defend, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.